Did you know on Oahu alone, over 500,000 gallons of cooking oil waste and grease is generated each month? And it all used to go into our landfills and sewer systems. But now, thanks to Pacific Biodiesel, about half of it is converted into clean burning fuels.
My husband Robert and I, Bob and I, founded the company back in 1996, and we started Pacific Biodiesel on Maui with the first biodiesel plant at the Central Maui landfill. Biodiesel is a fuel that can be a substitute, basically a drop-in substitute for diesel cars and any kind of diesel engine actually. Well, the source for biodiesel is almost any kind of vegetable or animal oil, and it can be used vegetable oil, which is what we do in Hawaii for the most part because we haven't had a big agricultural industry as far as biofuel crops. But we are now into a level of technology where we can process trap grease oil, which is really exciting. It hasn't been done commercially in the U.S. up to this point. So this new plant on the Big Island will be the first to process trap grease oil. And if you've ever worked in the back of a restaurant, you know that this is a substance that's probably worse than raw sewage. Throughout Hawaii, we pick up tonnage per day of waste cooking oils and grease trap oils, and I think right here in Oahu, where it's up to about 280,000 gallons a month. This is trap grease substance, because really about 15% of a gallon of trap grease waste is actually oil. But we pick up the whole amount, and so this is substance between that and the used cooking oil that we're keeping out of the landfills on a daily basis. These are the types of materials that used to cause a lot of wastewater spills, treatment plant spills, and a very big expense to clean those up. However, that is about maybe 50% of what is actually generated on this island. And so we have a campaign that we're including the restaurants in called Restaurants for Renewables. And the idea is that the restaurants get recognition for making sure that their waste product goes into something that's reused, recycled, that's good for the community, rather than just out the back door and they don't know what happens to it. Some of it even gets shipped back to the mainland to be made into chicken feed. Well, Pacific Biodiesel started as a big recycle project, and that's why the first biodiesel plant was at the landfill. Back in 1996, we had one employee who ran the biodiesel plant. Today we have 50 employees throughout the islands, and we also have a division on the mainland that does R&D and fabrication, so there's another 10 or 12 employees there. And we have affiliates now that we have built across the country. We own and operate biodiesel plants in Salem, Oregon, and in Texas. And then we've built another 6 or 7 biodiesel plants for clients who own and operate those themselves. The focus is really on the model of building a biodiesel plant in a community where you source the feedstock locally, where you sell the fuel locally, you have the smallest footprint possible, and you're bringing the best economic development opportunities to that community. Big Island Biodiesel is not only a great model for employment, but the investment that went into that. We're very proud of the fact that all of the investors in Big Island Biodiesel are local investors, so it's basically locally owned. And it's a $15 million plus project, which you don't see a lot of those realistically happening and coming to completion. You know, we're now making fuel at the plant. We're working through some of the last-minute kinks because of the very advanced technology and things that haven't been done in this scale of a biodiesel plant before. So we're just extremely proud of the fact that that local people, residents of the Big Island, as well as other businesses throughout the state, have stepped up and become part of that model, taken ownership of it to see it happen. For Pacific Biodiesel, 90 cents of every dollar of revenue that we bring in stays in the state. And when you look at the petroleum industry, it's the exact opposite. We believe that the biodiesel industry is unparalleled in the number of jobs we create and the amount of revenue that stays in the state. So, you know, we're hoping to hear more about it. It's not as sexy as hydrogen and, you know, solar rooftops and things like that. To other people, it's pretty sexy to us. We think it's great because we've got Willie Nelson. You know, we have celebrities who understand the difference and how important this could be to family farmers as well as to local jobs.
After the break, we'll take you to their test crop project in Wailua, right down the road from here.